2025. That's approximately 18 months. July, actually this contract would end July of 2025. So it would give the new council, whoever those council members may be, the opportunity to either continue the agreement or to, to modify or whatever they'd like to do at that point. But that was the reason it was changed to the 18 months. But again, that was just my thought as
You
far as.
anticipating people losing, Fred?
I'm sorry?
You anticipating people losing?
No, I don't anticipate anything. I know that there's elections.
Ernie, you said, increase, but it shows a decrease from 55 to 42, is that correct?
That was, those are the red marks came from me.
Huh?
Those red marks came from me, those recommendations that I.
So which one is it?
It's the 4250 is what, he's asking for the 5500.
Okay.
Okay, what's marked out is what he's asking. The one change, I think he'd asked also, we put a 6% administrative fee. He's currently being paid a 5% administrative fee. That was another change, so it increased by a percentage. But if the concession is to decrease that back to 5% and to pay the monthly fee, then again, that's completely up to the council. The other thing that was added on here, and this was on the previous contract, the city must accept and receive funds before this administrative fee is paid, which is what we agreed to. So not only do we accept the grant, if there's one, we wait until we receive the funding before we pay it out.
If I may, I'd like to address a couple of points there. One is that our team is a team of 4, and we give the same amount of workload for each of our clients, and it's a lot of communication. There's a lot of back-end stuff that takes place. It's a lot of interaction with federal agencies and state agencies, our federal legislators and state legislators. So, I mean, certainly the work is being done. And, whenever I've gone to performance review at the end of the year, when I worked in another sector, when you perform and you meet your goals, typically you expect a pay raise. And I don't think that's unfair or uncommon. The other thing is that when it comes to, say, the earmarks, there's a lot of work and a lot of politics that takes place with earmarks, because that's all congressional relationships. And so having the interaction with your member of Congress and their staff, and there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And so if we were to secure, say, another example, we got a $4.6 million earmark for Floresville, their economic development corporation. A lot of work that went into that, and a lot of meetings and a lot of front-end meetings, research. So when you put together a packet like that, sometimes the process takes about 12 months for the city to receive those funds that have been allocated by Congress. It's not the fault of the consultant, it's not the fault of the city, it's the way the bureaucracy is set up. So that was my only point making.
Fred, on here I see where it says service fee due on, it says 31. Is it 3rd or 31?
It is, I'm sorry, where are you at, Councilmember?
On the first page 7?
Yes,
Or, yeah.
He was proposing the first and you proposed 31st, right? Correct?
Is that 31st or the 3rd?
Yeah, that's the 31st. The reason I'm not allowed to yet, the building confuses me. But it's the 31st. I'm asking for it to be paid on the 31st.
Or at the end of the month, because
Yes.
some months don't have
Yes,
31.
yes. That's it.
You know what? I personally would like to make a recommendation and a motion as well.
Well, we've already made a motion, you make a
Well-
recommendation, and then we can adjust our motion. But let me, before you go, is there any other council members that have any input?
I
would like
just
to
want
make
to
a
thank
statement?
Ernie and your group for everything you've done, for the city of Pearsall. And move forward for more, do more, to move forward,
Mayor and Council, for this work, I believe the relationship should continue. I mean, I think we're gaining traction, in my opinion. And so again, these are, I hate to call them an attorney, it's important, right? For me, I call them, things that we can adjust as we need to. But in my case, I'd like the relationship to continue. I hope that Ernie would as well. But that's about all.
Mayor, if I can, I would like to recommend that we drop it to 5%, we increase it to 55 and we go with the 36 months, if the person that made the motion, if they're willing to amend their motion to that.
Okay, all right, we'll take that recommendation, go right there just for a second. And I think I'll pitch this back to you, Ernie, in that regard. Would you prefer to have a 6% commission and $42.50, or a 5% commission and $5,500 a month?
I think the operating cash flow for us of the 5,500 is more important. And the carrot is the 5%. We're always going after that 5%. But one of the things that we pride ourselves on is being the most affordable government relations firm in the state. And if whatever we charge Pleasanton or Lytle or Cascarilla or Forestville, we feel good when one mayor says to the other mayor, oh, they're charging us the same rate. It's like a flat rate. And so it's fair, and we think that we're very comfortable with that. We've talked about that, but that's one of our selling points whenever we go before another city council. We're able to charge at 5% while our competitors are charging 6, 7, 8%. And so for us, it's
Mayor, what we can do is, what I could do, and I did not do this with this, I could verify those dollar amounts with other cities, and if y'all feel that it's something where we wanna be, you know, hey, I say, to his point, I understand, he's saying, hey, we're charging all the other communities the same, we're asking the Pierce City of Pearsall just to pay the same that other communities are paying. And so I think that, to his point, I can understand the cash part of this as well. If that's something that you wanna consider.
Oh, I think-
What I'm gonna ask is that you guys, let's go ahead and look at adjusting the motion. You guys are, and see if that passes the way you made the recommendation. And then subject to perhaps, really, if you want Fred to do the research, or if you wanna just go on down the road and move with it. So at this point, Councilman Leal, what is your recommendation?
Our recommendation is that we drop it back down to 5%, increase it up to 5,500.
Go with the 36.
And go with the 36.
Okay, one question I have for Ernie about the reimbursable expenses. I would hope that there's gonna be some kind of guideline, you know, hey, we're going to DC, you can expect X, you know, so that there's not any big surprises that, you know, hey, these are the expenses, we're flying here or there, so
absolutely.
I didn't see
I
that in
think
there.
our contract says approved
By the city manager.
expenses.
Okay, all right, so, our motion was made by, Councilwoman R. Garza and seconded by,
Go with the recommendation.
Mr. Trevino. So, in light of that, I'm gonna ask that you adjust the motion to, approve the contract at $5,500 per month, go for 38 months.
36.
Excuse me, 36 months, and drop the commission rate from 6% to 5%. With that, recommendation, Councilwoman Garza, do you concur?
Yes, sir.
And Councilman Trevino, do you concur?
Yes.
Okay, we have the first and second adjusted. With that, any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. All right, congratulations, and we are very, very excited.
Thank you, Ernie, for
to
everything.
continue the relationship with Janice and yourself, Ernie.
Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
And same to you. All right, moving on, we've got item 7B, discuss and consider amendment to the gas contract with West Texas Gas.
Merry Christmas.
This is an action item, I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Trevino, second by Councilwoman R. Garza. City Manager, you have the floor.
Mayor and Council, this is actually a rate increase to our gas system. Who's our provider as far as selling us the gas, West Texas Gas, for an increase. We're not asking, we're basically saying this is the increase that's coming. So they're the exclusive provider of gas to the city. And so if, this may seem, it's on page 11 of your packet, and it may sound kind of odd because it is, the increase is the 1.835 per MMBTU. And on that, I don't know what the dollar amount, you be able to put something on that?
Maybe. Fred, I got a question.
Yes,
Of course, we ain't got no other option, because this is our only provider. Have we done a study, or have we seen what we're going to do to increase our rates as well, to minimize loss?
Yes, sir. What we're gonna do, actually, the mayor asked, and I know that you had previously asked for some analysis on that, and I will make it a point to get you something at the next council meeting to give you some idea of what we're looking at, from a expense revenue. quite frankly, as I mentioned, the gas system at best, and I say at best, is revenue neutral, but we're not, again, on that end, we do not, charge folks the necessary, rate to be able to recover what we spend, the gas system. So what we're proposing is, I'll get you some information, and I also have, a proposal from just Mr. Snowden, Jeff Snowden, on doing another rate study for the city, and I'll have that at the next council meeting. But part of that, I'm gonna ask him, I had initially asked him not to do a rate, assessment on gas. It was gonna be water, wastewater, and trash. But in light of this, I'm gonna ask him to include also the gas system. We did not raise gas rates the past 5 years. We have not raised, the past 4 years. So the increases that we saw as far as utility rates did not include a gas rate increase. Part of that is, again, it's a challenge for us due to the number of customers that we have. And by adding additional costs, it does put a strain. What some of these folks may do is may decide not to purchase gas or not want gas, and in essence, we're losing customers. I think we're less than between 800 to 900 customers on gas. Yeah, we have less than 900 customers on gas, which you have over 3,000 water customers. So if you do who's paying what, you have a lot fewer people paying for gas services than you are for water and sewer. So,
Council, to follow up with this, I'm gonna put this on the agenda for the next meeting. And you, Fred, comment, I mean, we're basically cash flowing on the income and expense side, but it doesn't calculate the depreciation, the work that's mandated by the Railroad Commission. And so if you really add all that, the capital expenditures back to it, it's not what it is. And we had looked at previously selling, that's certainly an option, but next week when we meet again, we're gonna have more analysis for y'all to look at and consider where we need to go from here. But it's definitely something we as a council need to address, what we need to do with this. But at this particular point, we need to move forward with this. They're our sole provider, and I don't believe there's any other option. Did you get a number for us roughly?
As far, based on what, revenue or?
No, the new price.
yes.
Consumption in FCF, I've got about 40,000 units of FCF.
Per,
I don't have a breakdown, I just have a total number, is what I got here from West Texas Gas.
okay.
It's not real clear, actually, to be honest, it's not real clear on what exactly they're stating here. It's got
And
a
I
total.
apologize, I don't have a yearly increase, but it is that $1.83 per MMBTU. That's gonna be the increase, which is on page 11. I just don't know how much it's gonna cost us to see the year, but that's what we'll be paying.
And so we will bring this back to look at what we're gonna do, big picture. This is short term, again, we don't have a whole lot of choice, but it is an area that we definitely need to put a lot of focus on and address. So with that, if there's any other questions, we do have a motion and a second. Anybody else got any other questions?
No questions.
All right, I'm calling for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There being none, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Council. Moving on to item 7C, discuss and consider resolution for authorizing professional service provider
Mayor,
RFP selection of Texas CDBG-MIT Regional Mitigation Program.
If, we do have Mr. Willie Hall and Dylan Hensel here. They're still on the line for West Texas Gas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, they're on there.
Great.
Gentlemen, your item did pass.
Okay, with that, the question was, the increase was from what to what, basically? And what is our typical consumption per month?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was having a little bit of trouble here.
The question is, the requested increase, the amendment to the contract is from what to what? And what is our consumption per month? Typically, I know it varies summer, winter, but what is our typical consumption?
So the increase, it was about, I guess, a 19% increase roughly. It was from $1.53 to $1.83 per MMBTU. And then I have this right here as far as your consumption. Give me just a minute.
And while you're waiting, the catalyst behind this was the increased price of natural gas, or?
Yes, sir. We had to enter into new contracts with our suppliers, and so our rates went up, and therefore we had to raise our rates to our downstream customers.
Council, in addition to that, do you have any other questions for West Texas Gas?
So, looking here, so it looks like during summer months, the usage is approximately 3,000 MCF per month. During the winter, that can get up to about 6,000 to 6,500 MCF per month.
And the price quoted was for MCF, right?
No.
So it was per MMBTU, which is almost direct conversion there. I apologize, I don't have these in these usages. Our measurement is, or I apologize, I don't have the MMBTU usage, but it's almost a one-to-one conversion
Okay, okay.
from MCF to MMBTU.
Okay. All right, well, we just wanted that data. There's no other questions from the council, so thank you guys for joining us. We'll be in contact shortly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Moving on to item 6C, in repeating, discuss and consider a resolution authorizing professional service providers selection for Texas CDBG-MIT Regional Mitigation Programs Methods of Distribution Development Program. This is an action item. I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second. Motion by Councilman Leal, second. Second by Councilwoman Trevino. City Manager, you have the floor. City Manager, you have the floor. Yolanda?
So this is
Thank
our,
you, Mayor.
Oh, hold on. Yes,
This is a selection, so.
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good evening, council members, mayor. You have before you an agenda item to consider the selection of a administrative RFP for professional services. This is for the mitigation grant, or what we call the MITMOD grant that was received on behalf of the city with no match. This is from the General Land Office. Last month, the city council authorized us to go out for RFPs and RFQs. We have submitted the scoring sheets. You have those before you for the RFP for the administrative services. And we're asking that the committee recommend GrantWorks to provide the administrative services. I will answer any questions that you have. You have that scoring sheet that outlines who served on the scoring committee, as well as the scores.
Council, if you go to page 14, you can see that again. This is for basically managing the process, if that's the right word to use. And their recommendation is GrantWorks, who certainly is no stranger to us, and worked with us at many different projects. So that is their recommendation. Any questions, council? Now, I will say that item 7D is in cahoots with this, but that's for item 7D is the engineering, this again is the management.
Now, this is, the grant amount is $2.2 million. We have not received the grant. We are looking to receive the grant, but we need to hire an administrator, and we need to hire an engineering firm. for this, but in saying that, it is a little over about $2.2 million.
Question, so the motion that was made was to approve the highest,
To prove the hiring, the authorization of the hiring of our professional service provider for this particular grant.
got it. On some of the other items, that call for different grades or something, can we discuss it before we do the motion? That way we can see all
Okay. Okay, if we don't, Robert's Rule of Order, if we don't have a motion, there's nothing to discuss. So we need to make a motion in a second. If you need to make an adjustment, we'll do it just as similar, exactly what we did previously.